Yo, what's going on? Today I wanted to see how far can Itto and C0 Gorou be pushed without food and potion. For me personally, I know everyone knows that if you spend or you bring out the wallet to its max potential and go C6 R5 on characters, they're gonna hit extremely hard. But I'm not really interested in that because that's for the top 1% of players. Who cares really, right? But what if we were able to just use like realistic buffs, right? Where it's not like, okay, we're trying to focus extremely hard on one rotation speed run type of damage. Like, how hard would Itto hit in a somewhat reasonable team comp? So of course it's going to come down to multiple Geo members, right? Because he's definitely a character that is kind of showing the direction of Geo supremacy, where it's like you want to get as much Geo as possible, you want your team to be as gold as possible, type of thing. And as you can see, though, right, it's in the triple Geo comp, his damage is quite considerable, being 32 slashes, a 70k ender, and you know, and that's what, of course, with the 5-star weapons, and we'll switch off of it just to show that even with the 4-star weapons, he's still able to hit quite decently well. So one thing so his damage surprised me much more than I expected. With good stat ratios, he actually is like competitive DPS. Of course, his team is expensive, and the buffs to to get him to his highest at C0 is expensive. But if you're able to over the lifetime of the game, and you love him a lot, I would say he's going to be quite powerful as a DPS, and he can kind of get you through a lot of content. And the beautiful part is, I've been thinking hard, like, how on earth is miHoYo going to be able to, like, nerf him in any way, right? And other than Geo Slimes, I'm not sure what. You would think, like, okay, what about Geo Vishaps? No, he actually still hits extraordinarily hard on Geo Vishaps. He does get nerfed a bit, but he still hits pretty hard. And as you can see, I'm still able to do some, nearly 30k slashes with the Black Cliff Slasher with all the buffs. And I'll explain the buffs that we have on the team. So you may be wondering, why don't I have in a max buff showcase BENNETT? And personally, like I said before, I really want it to kind of be like realistic as possible. And a lot of the times, your BENNETT's going to be in another place. He's going to be on another team. Unless your other team is a freeze comp, you're most likely not going to, if BENNETT's not going to be freed up, and some people don't even, still to this day, understand, BENNETT's, worth. But like for this kind of comp, I take advantage of a weapon that people may not like, right? People may not understand how good it is, because a lot of times players don't really know what good these support weapons like the Favonius Warbow and Elegy is. The Elegy plus Tenacity of Millet's Official provides somewhat of a Thrilling Tales kind of buff, but for the entire team. So the entire team with this official build gets 40% attack, and the Noblesse on Zhongli, everyone gets 60% attack, of course, including Itto, right? So if you didn't catch right there, the first Ushi after all the buffs were up was about 90k. So that was about a 90k, Ushi, and then as you saw right there, close to 90 again, Ushi, and then when it drops off, it was near 80k, and then we're going for easily 30k slashes to 40k slashes with all the buffs up. So now I try to do a little more cheese. I'm trying to see, what if I got two, of the Millennium Movement weapons. So right now, Albedo is rocking the Freedom Sworn, as you'll see, and you're able to see I got a 40k charge attack slash right there, 44k. So we got pretty. So that's how hard I could push with using a comp that doesn't take advantage of BENNETT. I will say the people who are able to run this kind of comp are going to also be very niche. So if you don't really have either of these weapons, and your BENNETT is free, because most people, I would suggest that most people should have a freeze comp. Then you can just run, you can run it with BENNETT. But just kind of showing you, like, yo, instead of C6ing Itto, unless you really like the charge attack spam, as you can see, you can kind of buff him with two of these 5-star weapons. So instead of getting constellations, if you kind of throw it towards these support weapons, you can kind of see how many different team comps are born from it, as opposed to your constellations all focused on one character. So yeah. And all right, here's some bonus content for everyone who stuck around. If you did stick around, why don't you comment in the comment section that Kokomi's the best? So here I'm kind of showcasing like, all right, let's say you don't have any of the 5-star weapons, limited 5-star weapons like Elegy and Freedom Sworn. You're just someone who doesn't mess with weapon banners, of which I understand. Trust me, I understand. I've been messed with them a little too much, so I get it completely. Right now, I want to showcase some free to play buffs. Right, like if you were to try to do this kind of max push, free to play wise, what you would need. So in this comp, it's really simplistic. Just again, you're still gonna need the Noblesse and Millith user, but now let's say you need if you especially if there's a corrosion type of domain or abyss, you would do something like okay, have a healer like Kokomi and put throwing tails on her, and then feed that to Itto. Boom, you're able to reach nearly the same buffs as both Freedom Sworn and Elegy. And then let's say you don't have Kokomi, then you can put a Millith on your Zhongli and the Noblesse on your Gorou and Thrilling Tales on your Barbara, and still be able to achieve similar results. So that's sort of the fascinating part, is that you can really push. Like a lot of people undervalue support weapons, but or supports and like how to build them so that your DPS shines the most. And this is another example of it, of the kind of stuff that you can kind of cheese out to get the most from it. So you can see how much I'm boosting my Itto with just utilizing Thrilling Tales, Millith, and Noblesse, and that's at the highest with his weapon, Elegy, Thrilling Tales, Noblesse, and Millith. So you can kind of see those 40k slashes. Those pretty nuts, pretty freaking nuts.